Okay, and I think we are live here. Welcome everyone who has joined the stream. This is Jason, or also known as Slickster or the Natural Hulkster. You could call me as you see fit. And I'm joined here today with Plant Based Fitz, or Mitch from Plant Based Fitz. Mitch, please introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, so I'm a relatively new YouTuber on here. A lot of what I share is just my own lifting. I don't really share a ton of crazy content or anything. I like to share a little bit of what I'm eating and how I eat on a plant-based diet, given that so many people still have so many crazy misconceptions around vegan athletes and whether you can actually perform as a vegan athlete. So a lot of what I share is just my lifting content and my eating content on my channel. And we'll see, I might throw in some content regarding how I train, a little bit about how I actually meal prep and stuff, and moving into the future. And I don't know, we'll see. I'll kind of jump into different areas. I'm looking forward to the whole YouTube game. It's been fun so far.
That's awesome. We'll be paying attention as well too. And just so that everyone knows, Mitch's channel is linked in the description box down below. So please make sure to support another vegan lifter here. He's had my support now for a few months, ever since I discovered you. I think I discovered you from a comment in one of my pages or something like that. And I saw your stuff and I was like, oh, he's a lifter. I was like, awesome. So am I. So that's something that we do have in common. So quick question for you, Mitch. How long have you been lifting for?
Man, I've probably been lifting for almost a decade now, probably like 9 or 10 years. That said, I haven't been super serious with it that whole time. In the first few years, for most people, and what I experienced was I just wasn't training properly. So the first few years are kind of a write-off. You make some newbie gains, but it's not because you're training properly. It's just because you're training in general. And then over the last 6 years, I've kind of dabbled with Muay Thai, like kickboxing style training, a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and then CrossFit here and there, a little bit of powerlifting. So I kind of dabbled in all other areas, but in general, 9 years since I've touched a weight.
That's good stuff, man. Let me tell you, for 9 years of experience, of 9 years of training, and still going through those, those beginner years, like we all go through them. I've been lifting weights really since like technically 2004, I guess you could say. That was like the first time I actually lifted. Didn't know what the hell I was doing, and that went all the way up until pretty much till I was in somebody's, oh Jesus. Sorry. That happened all the way up till I was in the Marine Corps back in 2006. I think I got a donation here that popped up. Did you see something in there? Anyways, but
I haven't seen anything, no. But
I think Pugman donated. Jeez, Pugman. I didn't tell you. Well, I'm sure we're all aware of Pugman, right? I mean,
oh yeah. I think everyone knows Pugman by now.
Yeah, Pugman. Looks like, I don't know. He said testing. Pugman is donating. He donated $500, which, by the way, I didn't tell you this, by the way. Pugman, I appreciate the donation. If you have any questions or something, by all means, we're trying to read the chat as well too. We will do that as well too. I don't know do you got the chat pulled up, Mitch?
I do, but it's not updating for me for some reason here. So I might refresh it and just see if I can actually see the chat.
Yeah, mine's isn't either too. Yeah, mine's is being kind of wonky as well too. I just updated mine's too. But anyways, I appreciate the donation, Pugman. Again, that's a crazy $500. I mean, I'm sure if Vegan Games was watching right now, he'd probably cream himself. But Jesus Christ. But anyways, any of the donations that come through here, I'm gonna talk to you about that, Mitch. In regards to the donations that come in. So if you donate to me, you're also donating to Mitch as well too. Just giving you a heads up. Yeah, I noticed that gym that you have, dude.
Yeah.
Is that your gym?
Yeah. So I actually live next door to my parents. And so it's like our shared gazebo home gym. So we have a decent amount of equipment in there. We just started accumulating things as we've been put in lockdown. So at this point, I have like almost 500 pounds of weight. I have a punching bag. However, you don't really see that in the videos at all. I have a treadmill. I have a spin bike. I have a ton of stuff. So it's a pretty decent setup that I've got.
I've seen it. It looks pretty nice, but I've seen you like deadlifting, and you had like some some freaking dumbbells like strapped to the bar. I was like, oh god, we got to buy this dude some like more
Yeah.
weights.
Yeah. Well, for a little while, I only had like 400 pounds of weight. And so when I was training for deadlifts, I mean, it's not like I can't train with 400 pounds, just not necessarily as heavy as I'd like to go sometimes. So for a little while, I was doing a bit of accommodated resistance there, just adding some band tension on top.
That's good stuff, man. And I was going to tell you too, man, before Pugman threw me off, like donating $500. Jeez, man. I really do appreciate it, Pugman. I was going to tell you that, yeah, for the amount of experience that you have going, I think you're extremely strong. And, you know, obviously it's only going to go up from where you're at here. But obviously, you know, once you get to like that 500-pound deadlift, you know, that 400-pound squat, it's like the progress is like, I mean, you really have to push it. I mean, you know, it gets harder and harder. For me, I noticed I haven't maxed out in my squat, I don't know, probably like in a year, probably more than that, year and a half.
Yeah.
And
I don't like to max out myself any more than like once a year. I'll do like reps, so like as many reps as possible in training sessions. But even then, like it's within training cycles, so it's not like I'm peaked for those lifts or anything. I'll usually test my maxes once a year at, you know, the peak of my bulk, just to kind of see where I'm at. But I've really only been training seriously with powerlifting for the last couple years, maybe. So
like 2 years?
Yeah, like 2 years. I've done deadlift, squats, bench in the past, previous in training, but not seriously. It's just within the last 2 years that I've started to kind of take my training a little more seriously. So
gotcha. Well, some would say, and this is going to segue us into another topic, Mitch. All right.
Yeah.
If I'm looking to the side, by the way, it's because my camera's like right here, but like my monitor's right here. So
No
I'm
worries.
looking at you, but the camera's right there, by the way. Just letting everyone know. You see, I'm looking at the camera right now. But anyways, this is a great segue in regards to training. The real question here, Mitch, is, are you training harder than last time?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I think that's a pretty simplistic way to look at training, but generally, yes, I apply progressive overload systematically. So yeah, I'm training harder than last time.
Harder than last time. So Greg Doucette would not be upset with the way you're training.
No, I think he'd be okay with it. He might say that like my RP is a little low sometimes, but I mean, the one thing that I think is a little funny with how people talk about fitness on YouTube is it's like, if you're not doing it 100% optimal, people just jump all over you. And for me, like I train for fun. I'm not like, yeah, it's cool if I can maximize my progress as much as possible in key areas, but I'm just doing it for fun. So when people jump all over me and say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Why? Like I'm having fun with it. I know how to train. I follow programs that I like to do. It's not always going to be 100% optimal, but who cares?
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I mean, we do this. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. It's not always a competition. And not only that, sometimes, you're going to make mistakes as well, too. And that's part of training. But of course, you know, the people with the biggest mouths, minus Greg Doucette, by the way, because at least he's got a channel. Usually the people with the biggest mouths are the people that, you know, you never know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they don't have a face on their profile.
Exactly. It's just someone commenting. So what's your take on all this stuff that's going on with Greg Doucette? And did you hear about this stuff with Greg? Well, I think you saw my video in regards to Greg Doucette and Jeffrey Schofield. Do you know about what happened there?
Okay, so I know like a little bit about what happened. Jeff made a video. I think I saw most of it. Maybe I didn't see the full video, but he made a video talking about how Greg is kind of turning into the new V-Shred, which like, I mean, whatever. I'm sure the guy's making a killing off of YouTube and whatever he's selling. It's probably not the most ethical in some ways. But Jeff just made a video like giving his take on the thing. And then I guess Greg got it taken down somehow. Like he got him a copyright strike, which I think kind of sucks, especially because for Jeff, like YouTube is going to be one of his primary sources of income, being a bigger YouTuber. So I think that's kind of shady, given that, you know, Jeff didn't actually use anything that wasn't fair use. So
right. What Jeffrey did, and I've talked to Jeffrey like very quickly a few times. Apparently, what he did, I have the video actually. I downloaded it before something happened. Not because I foresaw this happen. Oh, Vegan Gaze is here. Ellie. Hey, Vegan Gaze, we see you there. But what happened apparently was he put up one of his programs.
Yeah.
Not, he didn't put the whole program up. He put like a snippet. It was like an actual program that he had sent to a customer or something like that, and then the customer had send it to Jeffrey. And so then he put like a screenshot of like one day of the program. I don't think it was the whole thing. And that is apparently some type of infringement because that's proprietary or intellectual information or whatever prepared by Greg. And so that's how he was able to get Jeffrey on that.
I did see some critiques of that though, saying that like, you know, it was a customized program.
Right.
So like it's truly customized. No one else is going to get that program. So I mean, maybe from like technical standpoint, like if we're being really technical with this, maybe it's intellectual property. But if it's truly customized, then who cares?
Exactly. What are you worried about, right?
You know, it's going to be like trying to steal it. If you do, but by all means, go ahead. It's not even the full program anyways.
That's why I thought, I thought it was really messed up. I don't know. Did you think? I mean, it sounds like that's the impression that I'm getting from you. Did you think it was kind of jacked up, or what was your take on that when what he did? I thought it was really messed up what he did to Jeffrey because like I said, I've kind of talked to Jeffrey a little bit and he always seems like a very nice guy. But like, what's your take on that, man?
Again, like I don't think that I know enough to speak on it 100% and give like the best opinion on it. I think, from as far as I can understand how Jeff used the content, I don't see anything wrong with it. I know that I don't think Greg has actually spoke on it, right? So he hasn't been able to share his side of the story. I don't know how it was taken down. But yeah, I don't see any reason for it to be taken down, and especially to give a copyright strike on Jeffrey's channel, right? Because again, that's one of his primary sources of income, likely. And that puts, you know, him at risk of losing that income. So I don't think that that's the coolest thing. I think if anything, between creators, you can just talk about it. And especially Greg and Jeff, they're both pretty chill guys, I think, for the most part, right? Why not just have a conversation about it? Hey man, I didn't really appreciate the video you made. Do you mind taking down this part and maybe re-uploading? I think most people are relatively understanding with stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm new to the whole YouTube game, so maybe I'm completely wrong here.
Well, let me tell you, Mitch, you're too logical. You're way too logical because that's exactly
the problem with vegans, man. We're too logical.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of that, because I'm sure Vegan Gaze is gonna this is a topic of interest since she's the one who got how can we say she got a little bit picked on. I don't know if you were aware of that. Did you see that actually Greg Doucette responded to Vegan Gaze and then he put her video like up on his Instagram so all his little fanboys can go to Vegan Gaze's page and like start, you know, talking all that crap and all that smack to her, you know, not actually addressing any of the arguments that are being brought forth in regards to animal abuse and whatnot. Did you see any of that or did you hear anything?
I didn't. I'm actually just like newly familiar with her content, so I didn't see her video on Greg and I didn't see Greg's response, but I have seen some of Greg's comments on certain videos, not hers specifically. And yeah, I see that he kind of dances around the topic, doesn't really talk about the actual animal abuse side of it. He just kind of throws like ad hominems and strawmans and doesn't really actually address the topic at hand. So I don't know. I understand that's most people's way of talking about veganism when they don't have a legitimate argument to go with. But again, I don't know enough to talk about specifically like what I think of that because I didn't watch either video.
Well, that's pretty much what happened. She's commenting here. She says that he didn't even watch her video, which is true. Yeah. I don't think he did watch her video. I think or if he did, he didn't listen to anything. And I think he stated it in her comment, and like he just like rage typed, like he rage typed
just like crap. Yeah, he probably watched it on 2x speed and then just was typing as he was watching, not really listening or forming any legitimate opinions about the actual topic. I don't know.
It was really bad. Just to give you a heads up, if you do, I know you're a busy dude, man. But like, it was essentially all he did was, he just deflected the whole time. He was just deflecting. He was trying to put like the onus on vegans, like, oh, it's you vegans are so judgmental and blah blah blah, and you guys are doing all this without listening to anything of the point that's being brought forth. And then he tried to put himself as the victim. And
I do see him. I've seen him do that with some of his comments, like playing the victim kind of thing, which, I mean, honestly, before I went vegan, I probably would have thought a similar way. I think it's tough depending on the person, especially depending on how much ego they have within them. I know that with veganism, it has kind of helped me to shed some of that ego over time. But before veganism, I know my ego was through the roof, man. I didn't care what anyone told me. I thought I knew everything, right? So.
And how long you been vegan for?
It's about 6 years now.
Shit.
Yeah, now what are you at? Like 3 years now?
Yeah, like 2.5, man. Like almost barely.
Yeah.
I'm a baby. I'm like, but for me, it was like pretty quick. You know?
Same with me. Once I think the first documentary that I watched was Forks Over Knives.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of opened me up to the idea of veganism, but I didn't change immediately just from watching that because there was no ethical connection. And I honestly think that if you're doing it just to be healthy, it's not going to stick because everyone wants to eat healthy, but they're still going to eat a chocolate bar here and there. So if you're going vegan for the health, it's not really going to stick, in my opinion. And after watching that, I watched some Vegan Gains, thought that some of his stuff was kind of funny. I was younger at the time. And so after watching him, looked into a bit on my own, the ethical side of it, and just went vegan, like cold turkey, just overnight, man.
From watching Vegan Gains, you said?
Not from watching Vegan Gains. He made me like kind of think that it was funny and stuff. And so then I looked into it a little bit more from the ethical perspective and watched some other people's videos on YouTube. And then from there, as soon as I kind of made that connection with the ethics, just went vegan overnight.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because I knew about Vegan Gains. God, what was it? It was it's probably back in 2016 or 15, something like that. Whenever he first got on there, and he came out with his worst of the fitness industry, right?
Yeah.
And I saw one of those videos, and I always thought, like, first of all, when I looked at him, I was like, "What's wrong with him?" Right? I saw something like he was very serious, right? And it was just something very different. And that's the first thing that went through my head. And then second, the second thing that went through my head, I was like, well, he sounds like he's making a lot of sense. Like, I don't see you get what I'm saying? Like, it's logical. If you listen to what he's saying, it's like what he's saying is logical. You know, obviously he goes over the top and all that stuff, but the message that he is relaying is very logical. And what I always wanted was, like, you know, because he was debunking all these like fitness industry people, right? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to see what their response was. And whenever I saw their response, it was absolute trash. And
no one ever has a good response to Vegan Gains, to be honest, like, because he like comes at it with a very logical approach from both like diet and like the ethical standpoint. Like, he's just very logical with his approach, and it's kind of hard to maneuver through his arguments from the other side. So listening to him really made me kind of open up and be like, maybe he's got a point. Like, he's funny and he sensationalizes a lot of his content. And so from there, looking at others, like just more credible sources, not all YouTube, just really flipped the switch for me.
6 years ago. I will say this too, though. He wasn't the one who caused me to go vegan. What it just did for me, I noticed when I saw him, was I realized that he was a really smart guy, and I didn't see anyone come up with an argument. That's all I noticed. I was like, I wish somebody would actually like come with a legit argument to this guy. But I didn't really pay attention a lot to him. That's all I did. You know who actually was a huge influence on me when I pretty much changed? For me, it was like 1 or 2 days, if I can remember correctly, after I made a video on it. But anyways, the person who helped me the most actually was Earthling Ed.
Yeah. Oh, he's great, man. Mm-hmm. He's great.
Because he really brought the emotion into it. And it was just pretty much just like, not the emotion, the compassion, the logical compassion side of everything. Yeah. And it was his street activism that I saw. And I was just like, this guy makes like way too much sense. And I was just like, geez. And then I looked more into it, and I already kind of knew like the health side, everything was going to be good. And within it was like 2 days later or something like that. Yeah, that's it. I was vegan. It was like, yeah, it's done. Like, no problem. A day and a half or something like that. I wouldn't even say it was 2 days, but that's interesting. How old are you, man? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 26 now.
Oh, jeez, man. Jeez, all these young guys. God, you're making me reflect. Hold on, let me reflect on that for a little bit. I'm 34, everyone. For those who didn't know that, I am 34 years old, and here I am competing with young Mitch here on the YouTube.
Yeah.
No, we're not competing. No,
we're on the same side. We're on the same side.
Yeah, man. But anyways, so it seems like we see eye to eye. Oh, big question in regards to and then we can move on from Greg Doucette. Because really, that really upset me with Greg Doucette, because at least I thought he was going to be like talk about it. Instead, he just like turned into this giant man-child. Do you feel that he supports animal abuse?
I think like the answer is relatively obvious to anyone who looks at it from the perspective of supply and demand. Mm-hmm. He pays for people to kill animals. I don't know how that couldn't be considered abuse. And if he didn't pay for it, they wouldn't do it. So, I mean, I don't like to necessarily call people out, but like, that's animal abuse, man. Like, you can't really get around that.
Exactly. That's the way I see it. It's just telling the truth. And there was I see Vegan Gaze. I got 10 years on Vegan Gaze. You're only 24. Oh my God, I'm talking to a bunch of young people over here. What's going on here? God. Yeah. But I'm 25. Oh, in the end, she's about to turn 25. But anyways, what was I saying about? I just don't understand. Well, this is what I was gonna say. In regards to like abusing animals, right, or supporting the abuse of animals, however you want to put it. At the end of the day, I don't think the animal really gives a shit, right? They're being killed. They're being enslaved. We know the whole deal.
Yeah.
They're being tortured and killed and all that stuff. So I don't understand, why is it so hard to accept this truth from these people? Because I think of the days back when I was a meat eater, right? And I always thought, I just never had anyone talk to me. And I wish somebody would have talked to me. I wish someone like a Earthling Ed would have talked to me, or let's say a Vegan Gaze or something like that would have talked to me, or even maybe somebody like you, right? And just talk to me and just be like, hey man, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Right? And just talk to me and be like, yo, do you know you don't have to do that? Just regularly. And I would have been like, I probably would have said, what about protein? I swear to God, I could so see myself saying some shit like that. And you'd just be like, you or, anybody would just be like, well, you don't need protein. And you should know that you don't need protein because plants have proteins. You're a trainer, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're actually right. And I probably would have been like, yeah, fuck, you're right. But you see, I wouldn't act. That's what I'm saying. I just don't understand what's with this super egotistical, pride-filled answer to the point where you blow up, which only leads me to think that someone like Greg Doucette would be reacting in such a way just for money. That's the only thing that would make me think why he would act in such a way, especially with the fact that he has so many animals in his house and he takes care of these animals and all that stuff, that it's because of his cookbook. That's my assumption. I have to make an assumption, I guess. I mean, technically I don't have to make an assumption, but my guess is that the only reason why he's acting that way is because he has a cookbook out and it sells animal products, is my guess. Yeah.
I also think, different people accept the message in different ways.
True.
I know for most people, they don't respond that well to the hostile approach. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. For me, the reason that I responded to the message that Vegan Gains was giving 6 years ago when I went vegan was because I thought that it was funny that he was attacking other people. But if he was attacking me, I would not have found it funny, and I would have defended myself till the end, even if I was completely on the wrong side of things. So I think with Greg, I think there's a little bit of that where he feels attacked. Now, that being said, I think from what I've heard, all the videos that have been made, critiquing him on the side of vegans, they haven't been hostile at all. I think he's just perceived it as hostile, and likely because, again, he owns so many different animals himself, fosters those animals, wants to feel like he takes care of them. And so even just the thought that he abuses animals just kind of triggers him. And when you get emotional about things, logic just goes out the window, right? And so I think that's a little bit of likely what's happening with Greg. And it doesn't matter how nice people are to him now. It's like his wall is up. when Vegan Gains did the live stream with, what is it, Steve Shaw?
Mm-hmm.
And, Vegan Gains was being pretty nice, like pretty respectful, just trying to have a nice conversation with the guy. But again, something just kind of triggered Steve and his wall went up, and nope, I don't care what you say anymore. I'm just defending whatever I do and nothing else matters. I'm not open to learning anything. And so I think that's a little bit of what's going on with Greg. Is it warranted? I don't necessarily think so based on what I've heard from the videos. But again, we don't know what triggers people exactly, right? So
right. And I would agree. I mean, I will say this. I think a lot of classic vegan gays is classic Greg bashing. But I will say that I was a little harsh on Greg because I called him a snowflake. And the reason, and I was pretty rough on him. Like I called him like a little person, all that stuff, because I legitimately got pissed. I legitimately got pissed because I didn't think he would be so close-minded about it. That's why. But if I did talk to him, which I know, I'm just a mosquito to him, right? Of course, you're a mosquito to him. Everyone's like these little mosquitoes. I mean, it's okay for him to insult everyone. God forbid somebody critiques him. He blows a gasket. But if he ever did, let's just say if a miracle ever happened and he did want to talk to me, I'd be like, and if he said like, hey man, you called me a snowflake and I didn't like it. And I would just be like, you know what? I apologize, Greg. I apologize for calling you a snowflake.
Yeah.
And that's it, But I guess that's just me though. But
I also think that it's just a difficult topic to have conversations with people about because it's so emotionally charged in general. I think that people like Earthling Ed do an amazing job, but at the end of the day, like it's emotionally charged. You're telling people that what they're doing and what they have been doing is wrong. And no one wants to hear that. So, you can sugarcoat it all you want, but it's very hard not to trigger people. And it's also hard being on the vegan side of it because it's so emotionally charged. Like animals are being abused. It's absolutely disgusting. It's horrible. And so you get emotional when people try to defend it. You're like, what the heck are you talking about? You're trying to defend what you guys do to animals? Are you insane? And so it's very hard on both sides for people to remain relatively calm and have, considerate conversations about it with the other person's, opinions in mind and like truly listening. It's just difficult to do. And it's why for me personally, I haven't done, like I did a lot of it when I started off going vegan, but I didn't do it very effectively. And I haven't really, engaged in too many of those conversations recently. I don't talk about it too much on my channel because I just want to make sure that if I do ever talk about it, I do it as effectively as possible. I think that it's very easy to turn people away from veganism too. That said, the more that we talk about it, the more we get it out there and, things are going to snowball. We're going to see a ton more people going vegan over the next decade, the next few decades. So
now let me ask you this, Mitch. Do you think we will see a vegan world within our lifetime? Which, by the way, David Rams, if you get a chance to watch this, David Rams, you're wrong. And he knows this. I made a video about this, David Rams. I think David Rams is wrong because he says no. What do you think, Mitch? And it's okay. You can give your honest opinion. Go ahead, man. I'm ready.
Yeah. Man, I honestly don't know. Honestly, I hope so, obviously. I just think that there's a lot that needs to change. Now, that said, like if these things don't change, like the world is going to crap in a hurry. So, if we don't change these things, we're not going to be around too much longer anyways. I think that there will start to be more pressure from the governments over time to do certain things for the environment. I think that, eating more plant-based foods and from more sustainable sources is going to be a big thing with that. I hope that we could see, a completely vegan world in the future in our lifetime. But I don't know. We'll see though. I don't know. I don't know how to do the math on that one.
If you have to make a decision. Mitch, someone's pointing a gun at you, and they don't care what your answer is. Mitch, they got a gun at you, right? I got a gun.
Okay, fine. In my lifetime, yeah, because I'll probably live to be like 130 being vegan. So
there you go. Yeah. That's right. You heard it here first, people. Mitch is gonna live to 130. He's got 114. Is my math right? 100.
Yeah,
104 years.
104 years to go.
I failed math for everyone wondering. I failed math in high school. Were you a good high school student, Mitch? You seem like a very
I
intelligent
was okay. I was pretty decent with math. I took like all of the math courses that were available in grade 11 as opposed to taking them in grade 12. So math was my stronger suit, I would say.
But were you a good student in school overall?
Man, like honestly, in high school, probably not really. In university, still probably not really, because I was just having a ton of fun. I studied and I tried to learn as much as I could, but I wouldn't say I was the greatest student. But in the last 4 years, what I've been studying now, osteopathy, now I'm a good student.
Okay. Do you have a degree already?
Yeah. So I have my Bachelor of Applied Sciences in Kinesiology, and then I have a diploma in Fitness and Health Promotion.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got a degree, guys. Does anybody know? Do you know, Mitch? Do you know?
Is it in, I don't know, it's something in IT, right?
Exactly. I've got a Sorry. I've got a degree in information technology and security with a concentration in management, guys. I got that back in 2014. Yeah. All right. But
That's a big title.
Yeah. And I'm doing YouTube video, guys. And I'm also in real estate as well, too. But I don't know what that has to do with IT. But I did IT pretty much for my whole life before this. And then I got into training and all that stuff. But I've been lifting weights on the side with everything. But that's cool, man. So anyways, keeping on to this topic with veganism and all that stuff. If you don't mind me asking, again, and if I go out of bounds here, just let me know. All right?
Ask away, my friend.
All right. I have family members, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them, some of them may be watching this right now, and they're not vegan. I haven't even talked to them though. I really haven't, because I live in North Carolina. I live in the U.S. I know you live in Canada.
Yeah.
What side of Canada, by the way?
Toronto, Ontario. So I live I'm a little north of Toronto. I'm about probably 45 minutes away from Vegan Gains, Richard.
Oh shit! Look at that. Look
Yeah.
at that. Oh man, well, I can see a collab there one day soon.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe you guys can live together. But you're definitely no offense to Vegan Gains, but you're definitely way stronger than he is. Like way.
I don't know. I think he's been catching up, man. I've been watching a bit of his like Bigger by the Day series, and right now he's bulking and I'm cutting, and so like we're getting neck and neck with some of our lifts.
But
we'll see.
Pound for pound, you're stronger than him.
Oh yeah, pound for pound, I probably got a little bit on him.
Relative? No, dude. I've seen your pressing strength. First of all, your pressing strength is like ridiculous, dude. You had what was your bench press? First of all, that you have a pretty damn narrow grip, and I told you about. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's a narrow grip. But which shows that you got some like really strong triceps. What was it? 355 or?
Yeah, 350.
350, which is pretty good. But anyways, we're going off on a little bit of a tangent here. Regards to family, right?
Yeah.
Most of my family is not vegan. I've had a cousin that's like fiddled around with plant-based, but she's not vegan. She hasn't really made the connection to it, whatever. Like I said, I don't really talk to them. I live in North Carolina. The rest of my family lives in Florida. But my closest family, I guess you could say, like my mom and my sister, they're vegan. They're actually probably watching the stream right now. They're vegan. Are any of your family vegan by chance?
Oh man, I'm really lucky that like my girlfriend who I live with, she's vegan.
Awesome.
My mom and dad are both vegan.
Oh, awesome.
I have a sister. She's not vegan. But I'm lucky that like for the most part, my close circle, we're all vegan. And like, again, my parents live right next door. So we do dinner all the time together and stuff. And it's really easy. We can coordinate meals, no problem. So.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. You're probably the first person I've had that's had like so many people so close to him, you know what I'm saying, that are vegan. That's actually really cool. How long your parents been vegan, if you don't mind me asking?
Like about the same amount of time as me. They were actually the ones who showed me forks over knives when it first came out. And I was just a meathead at the time. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I'm sure everything they're saying is right, but I don't really care. I just want to get big and jacked. And so they kind of started eating plant-based around the same time. And then when I went vegan, I think they pretty much just went vegan themselves. And I don't think they necessarily make the ethical connection 100%. They definitely like have a connection, but I don't think it's necessarily as maybe strong as my connection to the ethical side of veganism. However, they eat relatively like 100% plant-based.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really good, man. Yeah, that's really good. Like I said, I'm actually pretty shocked to hear that, or not shocked, but like just surprised, because that's really good. It's good to have that unity, that type of connection. But speaking of of getting wanting to get jacked and strong and all that stuff, I'm gonna ask a question. We're gonna flip this back into fitness real quick. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, quick question. I want, if anybody wants to weigh in on this as well too, in the comment sections there in the chat box here. Do you think that Athlete X is on gear?
Oh man, I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of his content, so like I don't know exactly. Like I've seen pictures of him and videos. I think he's a pretty small dude though. Like I mean, he's very lean and he maintains that all year round. But he's really small. I think like it's definitely possible to be natural and be like that. It's just, again, like if he wanted to actually get stronger and get any bigger, he's going to have to put on a little bit of body fat. He's looked the same for what, like the last 10 years probably. So I would say he's probably natural. I have no reason to think that he's not.
I got you. I hear you. I have no idea. That's what I'm asking. Yeah. I'm like, I have no idea if this guy's natural or not. I'm like, whatever. But people keep talking about it, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I think it's just a fun, it's an interesting topic to think about. But so, anyways, your lifting program right now, right? I remember you released a video not too long ago about your lifting program. Since you're in a diet phase right now, right?
Yeah.
How many pounds are you trying to lose to actually, when it will be the actual end? When do you feel what number do you feel is the actual end?
So starting off, I think like I was up to around 194 pounds at like the peak of my bulk. And I'll probably go into like the high 170s. I don't know if I'll be like absolutely shredded at that weight. I think I'd have to go to low 170s if I wanted to get like really shredded. But we'll see. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of just doing it because I needed to lose a little bit of weight. Like I bulked a little too hard, and then tying it into YouTube is kind of motivating me to get a little bit leaner, maybe just for a few more clicks. So we'll see. You
said you were 194 when you started out?
194 at like the peak of my bulk. When I tested my maxes, I was 192. But I continued a couple weeks after that. And since I was done my lifts, I was just like eating ice cream and whatever I wanted for a couple weeks. So I went up to 194.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm like just under 5'11", like 5'10" and a half.
Yeah, probably. You're pretty tall because I'm like 5'9" on a good day. Like,
oh, really? That's okay. My dad's like 5'8", 5'7".
Yeah. So I got thick, man. I got freaking thick I got up to like 203, but I forced myself to get that thick. And right now I'm actually like losing some weight because I'm just tired of eating so much. And I'm down to right now I'm actually losing weight too. I'm not really making a series about it like you are and all, like vegan shredding series like you. But I'm down to when I weighed myself this morning 192. Down from 203. So
nice, dude. That's you've lost more weight than I have so far. Like I've been going at it for like 6 weeks. I think I've lost maybe like 5 or 6 pounds. I'm losing weight really slow this year for some reason. I just think I'm not as active as last year because I'm not out and about. So
that's okay. I mean, I think the slower you lose it, as long as you continue to train. That's most important, and that as long as you keep as much strength as possible, right? I mean, I think
definitely losing weight slower is always better if you're trying to maintain strength, which I like to for the most part. So,
well, just to give you a heads up, one of the reasons why I lost like a bunch of strength was because I had a little bit of a crisis. I mean, not a crisis, but I broke up with my ex, and anybody who's ever been through something like that, you just happen to forget to eat every so often. So that was one of the reasons. It wasn't really like intentional. It just kind of like happened. Like I lost like 5 or 6 pounds and then like lost a whole bunch of strength and all that shit. It sucked pretty bad.
Yeah, I feel you.
It was a little bit of a mess. I mean, I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine now, but like during then I was a little bit of a mess until it took me a little bit to recover. It took me a few weeks to get back on track. But talking about getting back on track, man, what's your, I mean, I see some of the foods that you eat like very clean, very healthy. And I hope anyone who's actually trying to lose weight or diet or just have a healthy nutrition plan, just check out your channel because you definitely got it down packed. Like I've seen it's very, very good.
Yeah, for the most part, my girlfriend makes a lot of my meals, not because I'm like make my meals, but she just likes to cook. So she makes really healthy food. Like she eats super clean. She's studying nutrition in school right now, so that's probably partly why. But if I didn't have her, man, yeah, my diet would probably suck a lot more than what it has been lately.
That's good. So she eats like pretty much the same that you do? Very similar?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She even eats healthier than me. Like I'll have cheat days here and there, and have like ice cream and chips. Not a ton, but like I'll have my fair share here and there. Whereas she's like, she just doesn't eat that stuff, man. She's super healthy. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, my girlfriend, I'm actually at my girlfriend's house right now, and she's like probably she's watching in the other room. But like she made like this bowl for me. I'm not lying. It was like that big, right? And it was like it was like full of like tofu and white rice and like lettuce and all sorts. She made like this like,
nice
burrito, like a Chipotle burrito bowl almost kind of thing, but like vegan. It was really, really good. Always nice when you got a girlfriend to take care of those things for you, especially like when they're all health conscious and all that stuff. So tell the girlfriend I said thank you for being vegan and helping the process out, because she's actually helping you, which is helping the animals, which is helping the movement. So
I'll let her know. I'll let her know.
Yeah, but awesome stuff, man. So going back to this talk about veganism and all this stuff, man. So there's this huge issue, I guess we could say. I mean, I don't want to call it an issue, but a lot of people are now talking about veganism, and they're bringing in like different topics, I guess you could say. For me, it's a little different, or it's just a little weird, I guess you could say, because for me, veganism, when we're talking about veganism, we're talking about like the actual animals, the ones that are being enslaved, the ones that are being killed, having their babies ripped away from them, day-old baby. That's what I think. When I think of veganism, I don't necessarily think too much about like the humans. I guess you could say like humans, in not to say that humans don't count or nothing, but like I'm not talking about some of the issues. There's a word for this, and we talked about this, right? Intersectionalist or intersectional. I don't even know how to say it.
Intersectional veganism, I think, or like intersectional is, yeah.
Yeah. If somebody wants to help me out on this, because I don't understand it, and what's the purpose of this? What's your take on that? And do you think it should be a focus, or what do you got to say on that?
Man, I honestly think I think you could maybe tie together some of these things, but like why you would do it, I don't know. And it depends on like how you're performing activism. If you're out on the streets, like talking about veganism, I don't really know why you would bring in some other form of activism, because I just think that you're kind of taking away from both at that point. I think you can have, your own beliefs about a number of different topics, but if you want to perform effective vegan activism, and again, this is coming from someone who doesn't perform a ton of vegan activism himself, I would think just keep it about veganism. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I would kind of say the same thing. I always thought like there's like such a raging like giant issue, right, with what's going on with animal cruelty and just animal abuse in general, right? That why are we, God, how can I say this? Like, why are we focusing on like the minutia?
Yeah.
Not to say that you can't do that, but you can be a vegan and do that as well too. Whatever it is your case, but I've had people actually say to me that I'm not vegan because I don't side with them on certain, or they think that I don't side with them on certain type of issues. And I think that, like you said, it kind of detracts away from what the message of veganism is.
Yeah. I think that it almost like increases the barrier to entry. Like if you're trying to convince people to go vegan and then you're also trying to convince them to do something else, it just makes it that much harder for them to kind of accept all of that at once. If you want to talk about different topics, different issues, by all means, go ahead. But to mix the different forms of activism, I don't know if it's the most effective way to do it. But again, that's from someone who doesn't perform a ton of activism on their own and really hasn't looked into the idea of like intersectional veganism. I've watched a couple of videos on it, mostly from people saying that they're not for intersectional veganism.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, I've seen a few people talk about it. I just thought it was, I guess, something worthy of discussion. So, dude, which was the documentary that you saw that actually, I guess you could say, like, put the nail in? Like, was there any documentary besides, well, you said Forks Over Knives, even though it didn't really do much for you. Was it like Earthlings or anything like that?
Yeah, Earthlings was the first documentary that I watched with regard to like the like animal side of veganism and like the ethical side of veganism. Watching Earthlings really opened my eyes. And man, there's another one out there, Dominion.
Dominion, yeah.
But I watched that one later. I had already been vegan for quite a while when I watched that one.
Yeah, Dominion just came out not too long ago. Oh, it was a few years ago or something like that. It just came out. Which, guys, I have not seen Dominion. I've seen parts of it, and I'm like, I can't see this stuff.
Oh, it's horrible, man. And honestly, like I think for everyone out there, like if you want to pay for animal products, I just think that it should be required that you watch these documentaries. And if you're fine to continue doing it, then by all means, like I'm not gonna try to talk to you anymore about it. But at least watch the documentaries, because it's pretty horrible what happens out there. And I think that to just be willfully ignorant to any cause is pretty selfish. But everyone's on their own path, right? Everyone's got their own focuses, I guess.
I think it's just a lot of people, they kind of get like distracted by life is what I like to say. It's very easy. Like someone will see a documentary and it'll hit them really hard, right? And like we've seen it with some of the street activism that people have done and all that stuff. And you'll see that it'll affect them, and you can kind of see the lights going off in their heads and all that stuff. And but even some people that do go vegan and then eventually like it just kind of dulls away and they kind of just decide to forget about it. This is where that cognitive dissonance, I guess, starts to come in or starts to creep in.
Yeah.
And it's not, they don't really, they go back like to their old ways. So we're dealing with like a very, very deep, like psychological issue that really I believe has to do with the pressures of society and authority itself. I think it's society and authority really that people fall back on because one, it's legal, right? And two, it's normal. That's what I mean by society. It's normal for people to support this rather than to actually be more conscious about what they're doing, and supporting these atrocities. Over there in Canada, I know their dietary guidelines, I don't remember, I think it was released a few years ago. I remember seeing the plate for their dietary guidelines. I don't know if you saw it. It was like primarily plant-based. Is there like a big vegan or plant-based movement going on there or anything?
I honestly don't know. I haven't looked at like the food guide in, probably like 5 years now, 6 years. Cause like when you go vegan, you just realize that a lot of the stuff that you learned is just nonsense. So I honestly haven't looked at it enough to know where we're at in terms of Canada's food guide here.
But over there, like what I'm saying is, are there like a lot of like vegan restaurants and stuff like that, or?
Yeah. I would say like in certain areas, like when you go to Toronto, like you can get vegan food anywhere, and there's tons of different vegan restaurants. If you're somewhere where like I am a little bit north of Toronto, a little bit more rural, not as many, like no real vegan restaurants. You can get vegan options pretty much everywhere, but vegan restaurants, not where I am, unfortunately.
Is the weather always really crummy over there? Is it really cold over there?
No, it's cold in the winter. It's beautiful in the summer. Like in the summer, it's like you're in Florida. I mean, but in the winter, it sucks, which our winters are pretty long. I would love to move down south at some point in my life because it's like 6 to 8 months of the year. You just kind of feel kind of crummy because the weather sucks. So I'd love to move down south somewhere down the line.
Is it still cold out there right now?
It's a little cold. I think it's we use degrees Celsius here, not degrees Fahrenheit. It's like maybe 10 degrees Celsius.
Which I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit.
I don't know. I would say it's probably like, I want to say like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, but I have no idea.
If it's 60, that's nice. I would have to convert that over because look, a Canadian, you were born and raised in Canada, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So like, because a Canadian's cold, okay, is very different to a Florida person's cold.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
In Florida.
That's the thing. I say 10 degrees is like, kind of cold, because I understand that for most people down south think that's cold. For me, it's like I can go outside in a t-shirt and it's no problem. But
okay, for
most people, I think if you came up here, you'd be like, man, it's freezing. But it's warm for us right now. We get to like negative 25 degrees Celsius in the winter. So
yeah, that sounds pretty ridiculous. I don't even know what I don't know what that conversion is in Celsius or in Fahrenheit, but it sounds really cold. I know I saw like a video of you like playing hockey.
Yeah,
like, it was like a really short video, and like you're like still got it or whatever. Like you shoot.
Yeah,
puck, and I'm like it looks like it's freaking freezing over there, man. I'm like Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Over here in North Carolina, like it drops to 50. Okay, yeah. Jess, that's my girlfriend. Yeah, she says that it's 50 degrees.
10 degrees Celsius is 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Which is
that cold for you?
That's okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not freezing, but it's cold. It is cold. Like I would wear a jacket.
Okay, yeah. So that's for us. Like coming from the winter, moving into the summer, that's like t-shirt weather for me at least. I mean, some people might wear a coat, but gotcha. I would call them soft.
Does the
not
sun,
you, of course.
Yeah. Does the sun come out enough over there? Because I heard, Dr. Gregor's like, oh, you got to take your vitamin D because the sun, it's at an angle and everyone's going to become vitamin D. I mean, I'm talking shit. But like, is that true? Like, is it?
In the winter, there's like almost no sun. I mean, you'll get the occasional day where there's some sun. But in the summer, again, it's like we have sun for the most part every day, and with, the occasional rain here and there. So summers are good. Winters, you pretty much get no sun and it sucks. Which is why if you're in Canada, for most of us, we would like to take a vacation in the winter, go somewhere down south. So COVID has really sucked because no one has been able to go on vacation this last year. So
yeah, when you say south, you're talking about.
I miss the sun.
When you say south, you're talking about like South Canada.
No, like south, like in the U.S. Like we love to go to the U.S., like Florida or Mexico, Cuba, anywhere down south.
You've been to Cuba?
I've been to Cuba like on a cruise ship, and we stopped off in Cuba, but I haven't actually been to Cuba. I'm going there for a wedding in 2022 June, I think. So. Oh,
okay, that's cool. That's where my family's from.
I was gonna say I thought you were Cuban or something, right?
Yep.
Right on.
Cuban American. I mean, I was born here. It depends where I'm at. My nationality changes, but based on where I'm at. Here in North Carolina, there's a lot of Americans. So to the Americans, I'm Cuban, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm in Miami, which is where all the Cubans are at, right? The actual like Cubans that came from Cuban, I'm American. So it depends. So yeah, I'm Cuban American. That's right how it works there. But that's cool, man. I didn't know you actually like legitimately came to like actually in America. Like that's what you meant by the South. That's cool.
Oh yeah, man. Like every year, I would say like most people, again, you have to be able to afford to go on vacation once a year, but most people like to get down south once a year to just get away from the cold.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're ever in North Carolina, just hit me up.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Because I'm right by the coast in North Carolina.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah, so we're right by the beach and all that stuff. I don't know, man. Maybe we can collab or some stuff like that. Make a video.
Yeah, we'll do some lifts together or something.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. We'll do some lifts. But that's cool, man. But anyways, let's see if we can look at some of the chat here real quick to address what everyone has been talking. I apologize, guys. I've been chatting it up here with Plant Based Fitz. We're almost at an hour, actually. That flew by. Hold on, guys. I'm just going to pull it up here. We've got Pugman beats VG there on bench. Oh, yeah. Pugman says that you beat Vegan Gains on bench, which I would agree. Nothing against Vegan Gains in regards to that, but yes, you do. You do. You beat me on bench, by the way. My bench, just the other day, last week. Oh, no, it was this week. I did, on the flat bench, I did 262 for 5 sets of 5, and it went up pretty easy, so I'll easily go up to 265.
That's pretty good, man. That's solid.
At 192. which I'm gonna cut down to 185. So
Nice.
185 is like I would feel that should be comfortable. I mean, I'll see where I feel.
Yeah, you're fighting weight.
Yeah, exactly. My fighting weight. That's right. Cage match. Let's go. Did you notice that, by the way? Did you notice about Vegan Gains challenge everyone to freaking? Well, he used to. He like there was a little streak there where he was like, "Oh, well, let's do a cage fight." Like,
yeah, that was his shtick for a little while, I guess. I don't know if he's still doing it.
I haven't heard him say. He's calmed down a lot. So I mean, there are people who have been. Pugman actually sent me a comment. I was supposed to debate him supposedly, but then we had some little issue go back and forth, and he originally wanted to debate me, and then he stopped, and then he doesn't want to debate me, and then he said that then later on he came out and said that it wasn't a topic that he was interested, though at first he said, and then now he says that he doesn't want to debate me because I'm weird, and then he called me a moron, and then I was like, really? Okay, and then which I made a few other videos, and that got way out of hand real quick. But anyways, let's see what else people were saying. Andrea says he's had suicidal depression since he was 6. Yeah, he's got I don't know what's going on with him. Everyone's talking about Vegan Gains here. But anyways, let's see what else people are talking. Been listening away, but gotta go edit. Have a lovely night, lads. Oh, okay. Vegan Gains is going. All right. Appreciate having you here, Vegan Gains. You probably left already. But peace. I understand. Content creation takes a long, long time. So, hijacking veganism to diminish the impact of the message. Yeah, I agree. That's what Mattia said about, I'm guessing, intersectionalist vegans, I guess you could say. I think that's something that maybe is just still worthy of discussion in regards to that topic. I didn't know if you had any experience with it, because the closest experience that I ever had with it was that debate with that other subscriber that I had.
Yeah.
That was that was a mess.
Nightmare.
But anyways, man, we've been talking for about an hour here. I don't know is there anything else that you want to add, Plant Based Fitz or Mitch? Anything else that you would like to add to this wonderful session that we've just had, this wonderful conversation that we've had as of late?
I don't know if anyone has any questions. Like, I'm down to chat about anything. I don't have anything that I need to do tonight, so I'm in no rush.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, Pugman just asked a question. He wants to know what's your day job?
Oh man, right now we're in lockdown, so I don't have a day job. But I was working at Good Life Fitness. It's like a big chain gym here in Canada. So I was just working there because I'm still in school right now, technically. However, I don't attend school at all. It's all online at this point. But I will be an osteopathic manual practitioner at some point whenever this lockdown is done and I graduate. So that's what I will be doing for my trade. It's basically manual therapy. So hands-on work with people on a massage table kind of thing.
That's okay, because I had no idea what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have osteopaths in the US, but they're considered doctors. In Canada here, we're not doctors of osteopathy. We're just manual therapists. So we just do table work. So like for what exactly? Yeah, so most people don't know what osteopathy is. Some people would say that it's similar to chiropractic. However, it's not quite the same. We have some similar ideologies in the sense that if you can get the body to move better in specific areas where people have issues, you allow the body to self-heal and self-regulate. So if someone has issues going on with, let's say, their hip, we would not just look at the hip, but we would also look at the lower back, all of the joints of the lower limb, see if there's any motion restrictions in those joints, get them moving, and let the hip take care of itself. Could it be a hip problem? Yeah, absolutely. But is it guaranteed to be a hip problem? No, not necessarily. All of these joints are interrelated and connected. So if you want to treat one area of the body in terms of manual therapy, you have to look at them all. So we look at the body on a global scale, make sure everything's moving well, and let the body self-heal, self-regulate, let it take care of itself.
That's cool.
Similar to training, right. If you want to get stronger, or if you're seeking a specific adaptation, you work out and then you just leave it to do its thing. And the body does all of the physiological processes on its own. same here. Instead of administering medication, we make sure that the joints are moving well, allow proper flow of nerve, artery, vein, lymphatic. Body takes care of itself.
And how long do you have till you finish that? Do you know?
So my graduation date was supposed to be sometime in October. However, because of this whole lockdown thing, I'm actually potentially going to have the opportunity to fast track a little bit by just finishing a ton of work, submitting it online, doing some like oral practical examinations through something similar to Zoom. And then I should be able to basically get my license and get to work.
And what month was that? I'm sorry, what month was it?
October I was supposed to graduate.
Gotcha.
However, I should be able to graduate sooner at this point.
Oh, okay, this year.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, awesome, man. You're almost there. That's
yeah, getting there.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm thinking of getting my master's degree.
Nice. In what, man?
IT, the same thing. It'll be IT. Nice. Just to teach it. I miss it like crazy. I was
going to say, do you do any work with IT anymore or no?
As of right now, no, I don't. As of right now, yeah, I just do real estate, and then I make YouTube videos, and that's it. I just got tired of working.
Living the dream.
Yeah, I was like, I don't feel like working anymore, so I just stopped working. Actually, I made a video on that, but yeah, I just didn't feel like working anymore, and that's just called it in. So
yeah,
talking about like this whole health stuff, right? Like, just wanted to. I brought up. You made me like bring up this thought in my head. So here in America, right, there's a huge issue with obesity and, you know, people being overweight and all that stuff. And the answer seems to always be with people in this country that, which it always seems to be like a pill, right?
Yeah.
Or like a Band-Aid or something to sedate the actual root cause of something. For example, if someone's a type 2 diabetic, you know, the doctor typically will tell the person, hey, you know, you should lose weight. You need to change what you're eating, eat less salt, walk a little bit more, drink more water, like the basic stuff. From what I know, most doctors don't want to give this stuff to their patients, but they have to. Otherwise, you know, they're going to become hyperglycemic, you know, or it's hyper, right? When your sugars go too high. And so, it can become an issue, obviously, if your sugars stay so high and all that stuff. So over here, there seems to be a pill for everything, to include cholesterol and what's the other one? Blood pressure, right? It's always the issue rather than actually solving the actual issue. I know over there in Canada, there's socialized medicine, right? Is it like the same thing? Is everything just a pill?
It's pretty much the same. And the unfortunate part about that is that I think that there are a lot of other natural paths that you can take to regaining your health. For example, you know, like if we're just talking about if someone's obese, work with a personal trainer, get your diet sorted out, working with a nutritionist, you're going to be better. You don't necessarily, maybe you need pills, maybe you don't. But the thing is with us, you know, like the pills are free. Getting a personal trainer is not. Hiring a nutritionist is not. When like those are perfectly viable options. And in fact, more than likely the things that are going to create lasting change over any kind of pill that you can prescribe to someone. So unfortunately, we have the socialized healthcare and you can get pills for the most part for free. Like medication is free. But when you want to work with a nutritionist, a personal trainer, someone like me as an osteopath or a chiropractor or a physiotherapist, that stuff costs money unless you have like benefits through your work or something.
Gotcha. So are the taxes crazy out there? Because I have no idea. Like, do you know? Like, how do the taxes work?
I don't know, like, how you would compare them to you guys, because I don't know, like, what your taxes are like. Mm-hmm. I would imagine that our taxes are likely much higher than yours, just considering that Canada likes to hand things out. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I don't know how it's worked with you guys through COVID or anything. You guys get stimulus packages or something?
As of recent, they've given out, I can actually tell you the exact amount that they've given out, depending if you're a parent or not, but let's just say a single person. They've actually given out a total, I think, of $3,200.
Wait, $3,200 like to each person kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Oh, see, like in Canada, like, I mean, I don't know exactly how much people have been able to get from the government, but it's far more than $3,200.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff that you
Yeah.
can do, like you'd have to apply, but I know that. I mean, I don't necessarily need it, but like they were just giving out money
To anyone though, or like, did you have to prove that you had a like low income or something?
right. You had to meet a threshold, right? Like,
Okay.
right. If you made over, I think it was like, I don't know, like $85,000 a year or something like that, or 90,000. It was something like that. Then you wouldn't get the full amount, and it wasn't 32 at one, like in one shot. The first one was like a 1,200, and they gave like an 800 one, and then they gave like a 1,400. So it might have been $3,400.
Huh,
Like
that's so funny. Yeah, for us, it's if you're unemployed, or if you've lost 50% of your typical income, you have been eligible to get pretty much like $2,000 a month throughout this whole thing. So, I mean, I don't know how many months this has been going on for exactly, but I'm sure some people have walked away with well over 20 grand, like if they were out of work and, but you had to prove that, right?
Right.
And
here they
write reports on and stuff.
That's right. They do have that here as well too. That they do that with unemployment taxes and stuff. Which I mean,
yeah.
I didn't do that, but I'm saying the government straight up, as long as you did your taxes, they would just give out money. They just like if you did your taxes, like you would just the money would just be in your account and it would say like IRS. The IRS is who handles all that stuff. At least I mean that's the way I got it. Pugman is saying 30% income qualification required. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it worked here. I was just always wondering, but you wouldn't know like I've just never done any research on it, and I just wondered like what is the like percentage that is taken out of someone's paycheck.
Yeah,
for like the actual.
It depends on like your income bracket, right. But I would say like if you're earning an average income, or maybe not average, if you're earning like slightly above average income, you pretty much getting like 40% taken off around there. I mean, it varies, but.
Okay, if you earned an average, that's actually not too bad. That really isn't too bad compared to that of here.
Yeah, I'm sure that like maybe our property taxes are more. I know that like our tax on anything that you buy is like 13%. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. Here. Okay. Here we have state tax, and the state they dictate like based on what you buy, like how much the tax is, where based on the state where you're buying it at.
Yeah. Do you have federal tax and then state tax as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys don't have that?
That's what I thought that you guys had.
You guys don't have that?
No. Well, actually, maybe. I don't know. I've only ever lived in Ontario, so I think that our taxes are more here in Ontario than other provinces. But I'm not 100% sure. I honestly haven't looked into it. I haven't ever considered moving. So
yeah, interesting topic here, guys. Sorry about that, but we're talking about like taxes here, but like
yeah, which I know like admittedly nothing about. Really.
Yeah, we have two fitness guys here talking about veganism, and this somehow has gone to taxes. The difference in taxes between the United States and Canada. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, hey man. So yeah, man, we've been talking for over an hour, man. I really don't have much else to add unless someone else has anything else to add on the chat. 40%, yeah, Pugman saying is that 40% is high. I mean, I guess if it's average, what I'm saying is here in America, if you're making what's called a regular paycheck, what's called a W-2 paycheck, you're going to get federal is going to tax you, then state's going to tax you, and then you've got what's called Social Security, that's going to tax you, which is at 7.5%. The others, I think it's 7.5%, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other half is going to get taxed to the employer, and then you have Medicare or whatever, so that healthcare stuff that gets taxed. So you get taxed at multiple levels. So over there in Canada, that doesn't seem to be the way. It seems like I don't know how it would work that way. But
honestly, for me, like I've never had to pay that much in taxes because I've been a student like forever. Like I've never not been a student, and I still have to pay, or they take taxes off of my paychecks, but I've been getting a lot of it back at the end of the year because I just haven't made a lot of money as a student. So
gotcha. And is school socialized there too?
No.
You have to pay the whole thing?
Like Yeah, like you can apply for, I guess, like different grants and stuff, but no, like I've had to pay for it all out of pocket. So
Oh, that damn. Yeah, I know that shit's. I'm guessing it's super expensive.
yeah, I think it's cheaper here than the US, but again, I'm not 100% sure. I never looked into schools in the US. I would say, like, for the total of my 8 years, if I had to just like put a round number on how much it cost for the school alone, not including like any accommodations while I was at school, probably looking at like 80 grand.
Damn, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Over the span of 8 years, which is a lot of damn money. I do think that schools, again, they help to distill information, because let's be real, you can learn anything that you want online nowadays. It's just, if you're doing it on your own, it's probably going to take a little longer, because as much information there is out there, there's twice as much misinformation. So to filter through all of that, I mean, like for you, example, learning IT, I'm sure you kind of got to go to school for that. You could maybe learn it on your own.
Actually, here in America, at least, most of my education, I learned actually on my own. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. School barely did anything for me, and I'm being as serious as a heart attack. I learned everything from hands-on experience, and yeah, just building my own like lab. I built my own IT lab, if you will. I did it myself, like super cheap, and yeah, it was pretty much everything was done online on my own. It was actually much easier, but that's just me, for me. But I know for some people, it might be the other way, kind of like the way you explained it. Like they need some type of guidance, some type of structure on, what direction they should go to, right? Like, for example, like we can relate this to fitness, right? Like there are some people that can just kind of figure it out on their own, right? And then there are some people that can't, right? They need a trainer or something like that. And it's actually much cheaper and much more easier if they just hire a trainer or somebody who's more knowledgeable in regards to this, because there's so much misinformation out there.
Yeah, it's time efficient. Really, it's like anyone can learn how to make a program on their own. And you could probably try to figure it out online. There's good resources on YouTube and stuff, but there's going to be a lot of misinformation out there that you have to filter through. It's a lot easier when someone can just spoon feed you the information. Most of the stuff that I've learned, I will admit, I have not necessarily learned it in school, but going to school has kind of given me a critical path. And then I've been able to accumulate information on my own and fact check it based on what I learned in school. So did school give me all the information that I have and apply? No. But did it give me a critical path? Yeah. So I'll give it a bit of credit.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely deserves its due. Pugman is saying, yeah, I do agree. You said 80,000 for 8 years. I don't think it's that bad either. And do you do IT for Macs? He wants to know if I do IT on Mac computers. Listen, Pugman. All right, I know you're a nice guy. You've donated a lot of money to me, but I do not touch Macs. I would not touch a Mac with a 10-foot pole. Okay. If Steve Jobs was alive today, I would not be friends with Steve Jobs. Okay. I respect Steve Jobs and respect everything. I respect his family and everything, but I do not touch Mac computers. Look, and I really don't even like Windows computers, to be honest. I'm really tired of Windows computers because I see what they're doing, but I don't want to turn this into an IT talk hour. We've already got into like taxes and school. This conversation is like gone way off, but anyways, yeah, I don't really mess too much with Mac computers, man. Like Pugman's laughing, but yeah. But yeah, man, I think we've had a good convo, man, a good discussion here. I think we've covered a lot of topics. I just wanted to say I appreciate you coming onto the stream, man, and I appreciate everyone that did attend. We lost a few people, but we did have a few people. I understand it was an hour stream. I can't expect everyone to stay this whole time. Pugman, I appreciate the donation here. I will get with you after the stream. Just don't hang up because I want to talk to you for a second.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
But anyways, just wanted to say thank you to everyone who did tune into the stream. Is there anything else that you want to add to these wonderful people who joined us during the stream? I like your salt lamp fits. Oh, okay.
That's my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. That's making the vegan. I was like,
yeah, that's fine.
She likes your salt lamp, dude.
That's her salt lamp, so I hope she likes it.
Yeah. But anyways, anything that you have to say, man, to these wonderful people here who tuned into the stream?
No, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It was fun to come on and chat here. If you guys do want to see any of my content, you can check it out on my channel. Admittedly, a lot of it is literally just me lifting weights. So if you want to see that, cool. Stop on by, and hopefully with my channel, I can maybe be somewhat of a good advocate for vegan athletes. So we'll see.
Absolutely. And look, man, I'll tell you that you are a good advocate for vegan athletes, and you are a good you are a good advocate for veganism in general, because you're vegan and you lift, right? And I think we need a lot more vegans just like you. And you're doing your thing, and you're very polite, and you have your way of doing it, and you're very professional, and you're a very smart guy, and I appreciate everything you do. And on top of that, you're extremely knowledgeable. I've seen your programs. Your programs are very legit, and I've seen your strength, and your strength is legit as hell. So you're doing everything great, and I think your channel will only continue to grow, and it'll only continue to expand as this movement continues to grow. So just know that I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone else who has tuned into this. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.